Thank you very much for giving me the floor and also for this opportunity to share with you some of our work. We all agree around this screen, but also more widely, that the undeclared work is a pervasive phenomenon in the Western Balkans. Figures will differ depending on the source and methodology, but it is substantial and it is affecting all sides of economic and social life in the region. Now, I wanted to make a quick reference to both recognition within the region, so from the governments of the Western Balkan economies, but also the acknowledgement more and more on the side of the European Commission and the top-down pressure and requirements coming from the European Commission on this. So the regular EC communications on the enlargement strategy, they emphasize that economic development is hampered by informal economy and undeclared work, informal employment. The regular economic reform programs, which are the annual monitoring tools of economic governance dialogue between the countries in the region and the European Union, also emphasize important aspects of reducing administrative regulatory burden on businesses, enhancing inspections reforms, and so on. All the economies, or almost all of them, have in the Balkans have targeted national strategies that tackle informal economy, undeclared work. They've put a lot of efforts in setting up also coordination bodies in working together to tackle the undeclared work. Specifically, what we do at the Regional Cooperation Council is work mainly with the ministries of labor, including also the labor inspectorates, who have prioritized this topic of informal employment in their regional cooperation activities. So what we are implementing in RCC is the so-called Employment and Social Affairs Platform, funded by the EU, implemented by the Regional Cooperation Council and ILO in the 6 Western Balkan economies, where we work from this regional angle. So strengthening regional cooperation, and through that, also the institutional capacities of the national administrations, but also social partners, employers and workers organizations, to help them work better towards developing more effective labor market and social policies towards this ultimate goal of EU accession. Now, again, specifically for us, the work that the EU has done, also with the great expert support of Professor Williams under the European Platform Tackling Undeclared Work, what we in this region felt like is to try and, at least through being inspired from this work at the EU level, try to replicate to a certain extent this work on tackling undeclared work in the Western Balkans by introducing or pushing the introduction of the holistic approach. Professor Williams, of course, explained the wholeness of the approach and the different aspects that need to be taken into account. What we are trying to do is to try and work with the national administrations to implement this holistic approach. At the same time, establishing a regional base for the exchange of good practices and experiences, because we believe this is a strong source of learning, but also action at the national level, this positive peer pressure among institutions in the region. We've started about a year and a half ago with doing some analytical work. So we conducted 6 diagnostic reports that look at the drivers of undeclared work, the institutional framework, the existing policy approaches, and provided some recommendations on starting to tackle undeclared work using this holistic perspective, this holistic approach, tackling it. And they are available on our website. What we are currently doing and what the plan is for the coming years is to, while bringing together these main representatives of the governments, ministries of labor, labor inspectorates, but also tax authorities, with the involvement of social partners as well, to work together to enhance cooperation and joint action among these actors, to improve their capacities through multiple ways, such as thematic workshops, seminars, small studies, capacity building events, to increase knowledge and public awareness, to encourage these economies to tackle undeclared work holistically. Specifically, one way of work for the coming period will relate to the mutual assistance projects, which we wanted to implement with the involvement of the Ministries of Labor and Finance, including labor inspectorates and tax administrations in each Western Balkan economy to improve their capacities for tackling undeclared work. And these are practical, hands-on, tailored learning activities where a host institution, the host labor inspectorate or tax administration, learns from their peers and also external experts who come first to work together to analyze or assess the strengths and weaknesses of the host institution, but then also provide recommendations, expert recommendations and advice, but also implementation support on how to improve and enhance their performance. As I mentioned, this is a project that is also co-implemented by the ILO, and on their front, they're working a bit on the data availability, on the evidence and the impact assessment of different interventions combating informality and undeclared work, because I think these are important gaps that really need to be filled up. And all this analytical work of the ILO will also feed back then in the discussions we are having within the Western Balkan network tackling undeclared work. So basically, this is sort of the way ahead, and we really look forward to possible cooperation with Seldi, but also with other like-minded partners in the region to promote the agenda forward. Thank you very much.